Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo. We're here at the South Park Center and I'm delighted to be joined by Kristi with her movie No Law, No Heaven. Let's take a look at the clip.
My parents, they work very hard. I want to give them a good life.
What about you? What dreams is Ming chasing?
I want to move away from here. Open a famous restaurant on Hong Kong side. And then to play guitar.
可能想食翻啲正統嘅口味，但又唔肯用心機花時間去做。
佢係我個朋友，佢叫做 Lian。
我哋啲文化又唔同，唔好搞到自己亂晒龍先得㗎。
嗱，你繼續幫我啲水過嚟，直至到你趕走我哋為止。
I'm just looking for Ming. Is he here?
Kristi, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for bringing your film to New Filmmakers. I am a big fan. I've got so many questions. For those that haven't seen No Law, No Heaven, tell us a brief synopsis.
Yeah, thanks for having me, first of all. So No Law, No Heaven is a narrative short film that explores the life of a man named Ming in 3 vignettes as he explores his sexual identity in Hong Kong's notorious Kowloon walled city.
Ming is just like an incredible character in all 3 stages that you showed, all 3 chapters. Mm-hmm. It's such an amazing story, like amazing.
Thank you so much.
I'm still thinking about it, and I just want to know, where did the inspiration come for you in creating this particular project?
Yeah, well, first of all, the inspiration really was brought about by the location itself, the Kowloon walled city. Mm-hmm. It's this kind of amazingly notorious, seedy, city of darkness of Hong Kong that existed from the 1940s up until the 90s when it was torn down. And I feel like all we know of it today is from Western media using it as this blueprint or template for things like, like the Narrows in Batman.
Yeah.
Or like it was a map in, I think, a Call of Duty video game. And I feel like we haven't seen this location in film, and we haven't gone into this location and shown it for what it was, which was this kind of amazing, incredible place. Like, yes, it had a lot of crime and drugs and all of that, but also it was just quite simply a place full of ordinary people who were really trying to make a life out there with the cheap rent, and it's, I just felt like it was the perfect opportunity for me to make this film about that. And also it was inspired by my own sort of issues with these invisible structures within Chinese culture and family culture, and culturally, just in general, that kind of separate the individual from family and all these kind of sacrifices that we're taught and that are ingrained in us to just sacrifice yourself and the self-erasure that occurs within a lot of Chinese families. And I really wanted to make a film that critiques that and hopefully shows like parents and older generations that, we can stop this cycle and live freely.
I love that, and I'm so glad that you shone the light on this location, because it's over 50 years of livelihood of people's lives, of families, and so it's so great that you shone a light of just the people and the experience in the neighborhood, and yes, there's a lot going on, but the camaraderie and the history there, and it was so wonderfully put together. Now obviously it follows this story of Ming, and I honestly don't know. I think I've seen a film that got so perfectly the actor at all stages, like literally felt like the same person all the way through. And I'm in so much admiration that you made this into 3 chapters, because I'm sure that wasn't easy for you as well. Did you kind of always know that you wanted to tell more than just one part of the story? Because you could have just gone one way, but you decided to obviously split it into 3, and obviously you know, we all, by the end of it, we're all just welling up with tears because it's so beautifully put together.
Yeah, there was actually a feature version of this that I was toying with before deciding on going with the short. And these three characters that you see as three versions of Ming were originally three separate characters that would kind of intermingle.
Oh, wow.
And they were all, it was kind of like this ensemble cast of characters, like a crash, if you will, where they all kind of interact with each other, and we get a glimpse of this community. And I did write it in these 3 chapters when I was exploring the short, but felt that it was a lot stronger for this to be one person, and to kind of delve into like memory and regret, and you know, looking at my parents' generation and my grandparents' generation, and wondering, you know, what did they sacrifice? What parts of themselves did they tuck away, and that I have never gotten to see, and what did they really sacrifice to put me and my generation in the position that we are in now? And so, yeah, that's how it became 3 chapters of one man's life.
Although, Kristi, I still want a feature. If you make it, I'm ready for the feature as well, because I didn't want the story to end. You know, moving on as well, talking about this, you know, experience. You know, it's amazing when you've got to make and create something, especially, you know, the time that you weren't, you know, it's not a time that you go back and look and remember. What was the process like for you of sort of discovering this place, but like how it looks in the 40s, how it looks later on for the ages? How was that process and the whole production design? Because she's going to tell you something that I could not believe of how and where this was made as well.
Yeah, so we shot the film all in Hong Kong, but all of it was, all the interiors were in a set that we built.
It's amazing.
And that process, thank you so much, that process was very in-depth, but also allowed me and my crew, and just me as a director, to really tailor the architecture to suit my aesthetic and storytelling style. And I worked with an incredible production designer. His name's Hakan York, also
So
a graduate of the UCLA MFA production design program.
Wow.
Really incredible. And we really dove into the research to get this right. And I also really wanted to be economical with our space usage, and also in that we were creating the bones of the structure of several different places that could be redressed to be other places that you see in the film. So like the market, the fishbowl stall, the brothel hallway were all, you know, just one big set that we were redressing and reframing in different ways. And I really wanted to emphasize this kind of cyclical, claustrophobic, you know, like everything's kind of the same but like slightly different in a very like subconscious way, to represent these kind of unending cycles of and structures of generational like trauma, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, for you as a director, you know, I am mesmerized by your actors, like completely, like they all just, I mean, just absolutely brilliant. How did you come bringing your cast together? How is the process of working with 3 people, the same person but different generation? And how is your process as a director as well?
Yeah, it was quite a challenge that I knew when I was writing this that I would have to, you know, deal with. And so I had a fantastic producing team put together this cast. And interestingly enough, it was quite a learning process for me, coming from, like, I studied in the U.S. I graduated from the UCLA MFA directing program, and you know, I learned things in a very American way. You know, we have things like backstage and like you know, a lot of casting websites that you can go to, and people will just, you know, flock to you to you know, act in your film. And in Hong Kong, it's very different. There are no websites like that available, and it's a lot more old school in some senses, where it's like you have to know someone who knows someone, or take the route that we did, and it was a mixture of both, but we found a lot of our cast through Facebook postings.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and after casting, all of the Mings in his different stages of his life, it was a big sigh of relief that they really worked out, and they're just so talented. I mean, there were different ways that I approached casting the same person in different parts of their life, and one category was like, of course they had to look similar, but also they had to, as people and actors carry themselves in a similar manner to the character I've written.
Yeah.
And I think they all really embodied the character. So it was not a stretch for them to, like, you know, kill it.
But I don't think I've ever seen a performance of 3 characters do as well as that film ever. Like, I mean, they really did do a really great job. It's a great credit to you as a director as well, truly, because, you know, I just was invested in all 3 of the Mings, you know, and the storyline. Now this was so special because obviously we're back in person. We had this at New Filmmakers. You've had tremendous reaction. What was it like seeing this film that you worked so hard in back in Hong Kong, the whole journey of it all, seeing it on the big screen, and how has that reaction been? And also, what did you want your audience to take from your film?
Well, I mean, being there in person, and it was just incredible. And I think this was actually the first time that I was able to sit in a theater with the audience as they were watching. Because a lot of festivals I've gone to, they've either been in Europe where I couldn't go at the time, or they were online. And obviously, you know, you just hear what you hear on the internet if people, you know, come to you. And so it was really incredible and like humbling, and also just really exciting and validating to hear audience reactions, and also to meet people who enjoyed the film, and who like come up to you and are like, thank you for making this film. I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you for watching the film. You know, as a filmmaker, that's all you want, is like your work to be seen and to impact people. And I feel like at New Filmmakers LA, I was able to do that.
Yeah, no, most definitely. And did you kind of have an idea of how you wanted your audience to sort of take your film? Because I think location and the history of that location, I think, was such an important thing, you know, identity. But was there any other things you specifically were looking for, hoping your audience would pick up from?
Yeah, I think that everyone, it was really cool, because I didn't expect people with a background from Hong Kong, you know, in LA to really see the film, but a lot of people actually did come up to me and be like, I'm from Hong Kong, and like, like, this is so amazing to see. And I'm like, yeah, like, I mean, Hong Kong cinema is not as strong as it was, and I'm really proud to be someone from Hong Kong descent who's making films, and I really want my audiences to take away from watching this film that, you know, you're not alone in that being part of these structures and this culture is really difficult, and to keep persevering and to keep trying, and like, you know, don't give up like Ming did, but also if you have given up, you know, and you're in a position like Ming, it's not too late, and you know, things can change, and we should keep trying to change them.
Absolutely. What is next? I'm very excited for what's next.
Well, I am working on that feature version that I mentioned earlier. So I have a feature screenplay set in the same kind of world as No Law, No Heaven in the works. I have a pilot and pitch deck in the works for TV. I'm really wanting to get into TV directing, and
Great.
Yeah, that's what I'm up to.
This is amazing. Well, listen, I just want to say thank you so much for bringing this film. It will sit in our hearts forever, and we really appreciate what you've done, and we're very excited for the feature version and all the future projects. So welcome to the New Filmmakers family. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Kristi, everybody. No Law, No Heaven. Everyone's got to see it.